I'm going to go now to Gerry Cullen, who's the Programme Manager in City Connects. Gerry has worked in the North Inner City of Dublin throughout his teaching career. He spent 23 years working in Mount Carmel Secondary School, where he was employed as a teacher, homeschool community liaison coordinator, and more recently as school principal. In October 2020, he took up a seconded position with Tusla Education Support Service to lead a new initiative in the NEIC. Gerry is currently Programme Manager for the NEIC City Connects pilot project, which is in its third year of implementation. And we were joined in the first year of this conference by your colleague Mary Walsh from Boston College. Maybe as a recap, can you just in a minute tell us what City Connects is?
Yep, I will. Thanks, Anya. City Connects is a comprehensive system of student support. So it was established in Boston College back in 2000. So it has like over 20 years of research and data to show that if you put the right plan in place for the right child at the right time, it can change the outcome for that child. So I suppose it's an evidence-based programme. We're trying to address all those out-of-school factors that some of the speakers have spoken here today. We're talking about housing instability, food insecurity, maybe difficult family situations. COVID, of course, is another factor that has, impacted on children, as well as sometimes a limited access to enrichment opportunities for children in disadvantaged areas. So we're trying to address those out-of-school factors. So what's unique, I suppose, about City Connects is that as teachers, we're often trained to look at what children need. And we do that with City Connects, but equally we look at what they are good at. What are their strengths? Because we have a firm belief that if we are building on those strengths, other things will happen, alongside that. And we look across 4 domains when we're reviewing children. We look at the academic domain, we look at social emotional behaviour, we look at family, and we look at health. Because I think we all agree they all interact with each other and they all affect each other. And the children cannot do well in school alone if there's issues with health, or if there's issues with family, or there's social emotional behaviour problems. So in a nutshell, what we do in our system is we review every child every year. And again, that's unique. It's for every single child in the school. It is not just for the troublesome one, it's not just for the children who are struggling, it's for everybody. And I think the teachers are finding that refreshing, because they're in the classroom, they're busy all day, they're often giving all of their attention to the children who need it most. And sometimes the children who are getting on well are not getting the attention they deserve. So that's one element. We review every child every year with their teacher, and we then try and put a bespoke plan in place that addresses their strengths and their needs. Of course, there will be some children will need a more intensive review, and that's what we call an individual student review, where we bring in a wider group of professionals. And with that expertise and that collaborative approach, we try and come up with some specific goals, measurable goals, that we can set for that child. And I suppose the last piece that's really good about City Connects is there is somebody there to follow up. We can all make plans, but unless there's someone there to follow up to make sure the plan was put in place. Did it work? Yeah, great. Did it not work? Let's see how we can change it. So I think that is a quick synopsis of City Connects.
It's a brilliant initiative. So it's all the kids in these GESH schools that are part of the pilot project. What makes it truly unique is the fact that you're then connecting Dublin and Limerick with Boston. That might make some people nervous as to how you make a pilot like this work, but it is grounded for them. They already have the data out of Boston that shows this initiative, it's higher academic performance, it's higher attendance rates, lower high school dropouts, decreased chronic absenteeism. So they've proved concept in Boston, and hopefully Dublin, Limerick, Ireland is learning from that. But how has that worked, trying to do this literally across the Atlantic Ocean?
Yeah. Okay, I won't tell you a lie. When I started this job, my head did hurt from all the different partners, because we were talking about the Department of Education, we were talking about the Department of Children and Youth Affairs as it was then. We have Boston College. And then on the ground here in Ireland, we have Mary Immaculate College in Limerick, who are the lead implementation partner. And also then I'm seconded to Tusla Education Support Service. And then we also have the North East Inner City Programme Implementation Board, who were funding it in the beginning, along with the Department of Children and the Department of Education. So how does it work? There are a number of oversight groups and governance groups, maybe too many. That one of the recommendations of the recent feedback and evaluation was that they need to be reduced and simplified. But at the beginning, they were necessary to get this off the ground, because it did involve a lot of steering groups, implementation groups, project management teams. But I have to say, it worked really well. It happened just in the middle of COVID, so we were all getting used to technology, maybe what multinational companies are used to doing all the time. So we were meeting on Teams, meeting on WebEx, Okay, you have to look at the difference of hours, the timing, the time zones, and then you have the added complication when the clock goes back in one country but doesn't go back to the other country at the same time.
Yeah.
But it worked really, really well. It's no substitute for meeting people in person, and I was fortunate enough last June to go to a programme manager meeting in Boston to meet Mary Walsh, to meet Claire, for all the team there. But it actually has worked extremely well by linking Athlone, Limerick, Boston and the northeast inner city of Dublin.
And I assume the hope and intention is that you're going to replicate what they have seen through the Boston example in terms of that scientific, evidence-based approach and outcomes. But it's going to be a long tail effect. This isn't going to be something we're going to see instantly through the school system here with these kids.
Yeah, you're right, Anya. I think that's why the first two evaluation reports are focused on the process, because for Boston College would be quite firm that if you want to see the same results, you must be faithful to the model. So we have to, and that's my job as programme manager, to make sure we are remaining faithful to that model while also tweaking it to the Irish context, because we have to adapt any programme to the Irish context, and that's what the first 2 years have been about. But I am hoping that next year, the year after, we are going to see more of an outcome evaluation to show that the work we're doing now, the prevention, the enrichment, the early intervention work will, as you said, we're planting the seeds now to reap the rewards in a few years' time. But the evidence has shown that if you keep reviewing every child every year, tweaking the supports they're getting at different times as their needs and strengths evolve over time, if you keep tipping away at that, by the time the children do reach 6th class in Ireland, they're on a different trajectory, achieving all of the things you mentioned there.
How hard, or maybe not, has it been to get buy-in? Because this is so cross-functional. You're trying to get teachers, working with social workers, working with community leaders, working with youth workers. You need a political system and government departments to rise to meet the potential for this. And we talk all the time at this event about that need for cross collaboration and less competition and not be in our silos. Has that come naturally, or has it been you've had to build for that?
We definitely had to build for that. We definitely have. We had to convince the classroom teacher that this 2-hour meeting at the beginning of a school year was worth it, and I think now every single one of them believe it is worth it because they get a chance to look at every single child. The principals were trying to say, look, we can take some of the work away from your desk. The homeschool liaisons who are already in these schools were trying to say, we can take away some of your work so you have more time to focus on your target parents, because this is not targeted. But then going out to the community, and I want to go back to what Arlene said about the children's voice. One of the things City Connects does every year is we survey the children of what their interests are. So we're surveying children from junior infants to 6th class. And I was blown away the first year, and the results were again the same the second year, of what those interests are. I would never have believed in the northeast inner city in Dublin, the number one interest was swimming. The second highest interest was Lego, arts and crafts, cookery were there. So by having that list of interests, we can then use that to approach the different community partners, whether it's Dublin City Council or whether it's a local youth club, and say, listen, this is what the children want. And I keep giving credit to all of the community groups in the northeast inner city. They have not been found wanting when they see that this is what the need is. We've set up successfully now 3 Lego clubs, we have dancing clubs, we have, we have a film making club starting today or tomorrow, I think it is. So again, just based on what the children want.
Yeah.
And when you said, how does it all work, or what's the secret to making it all work? If we keep the child at the centre of the room, I think at the end of the day, all of us want to improve their lives.
Great. Brilliantly said. I think you speak for everybody today on that one, Gerry.